Hi, my name is Keisha Jenkins, and I am a property manager with Sacramento Delta Property Management, and I have been with the company for 13 years.
Hi, I'm Carissa, and I'm the Vice President here at the Auburn office, and I manage the office here. I've been here almost 13 years.
And I am Shelby. I am a property manager here, and I've been in the industry for 5 years.
Okay, so today we are going to talk about expert advice on maintenance, how we handle maintenance here at Sacramento Delta.
Ooh, my favorite subject.
Yeah.
It's always a fun one. Maintenance is one of those things that you are constantly on the lookout for good vendors. Unfortunately, we are in the industry when people get word of a good vendor, everyone finds them and hears about them.
Yeah.
So we are constantly looking for competitive rates with our vendors. We have awesome long-term vendors.
We do.
Right?
We do,
How
yeah.
long have some of our vendors been with us?
Some of us since the beginning, like over 35 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of those exclusively work with Sac Delta and smaller property management companies,
Yeah.
so they're able to keep their rates low because they don't advertise.
They don't have to.
They don't have to advertise,
Exactly.
so they get enough business from us in our many properties. So,
Right.
So I think that's one of the interesting things about maintenance. Costs do always rise, and that's one thing that we have to keep in consideration, and owners need to keep into consideration. So sometimes, things don't cost what they did 5 years ago, and there's constant inflation.
Right.
But because they do business with Sac Delta, they're still able to offer us relatively low prices. What we call real world prices, our clients don't pay
Yeah.
because we do so much business with our vendors.
And a lot of them issue us, you'll see it on their invoicing, they'll issue a discount on the invoice, 10% off just for
Exactly.
being a Sac Delta client. So
Exactly.
that's one of the benefits that we can pass on to the clients. And the other thing is the transparency of the invoicing with
Right.
our maintenance as well. So the owners get the original invoice with the exact information
Exactly.
from the vendor. There's no hiding anything. There's no hidden costs. There's no upcharging. You get the exact invoice, and we only keep a copy of it for our records, which is what you receive every month with your statement. So
Exactly.
transparency is the biggest thing, but
Exactly.
also keeping that documentation of maintenance being done at the property is vital, so that
Yeah.
when it does come to move outs or turning, transitioning, the unit, we know when things have been repaired,
Exactly.
when things have been fixed.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then with such a long list of licensed, insured, bonded vendors, we have quite a long list of vendors to choose from if we need a second or third estimate on those big ticket items.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then we have all of those vendors in place to get those additional estimates for you.
And to bounce off of what you said, having the licensed and contracted vendors with the liability insurance, the other thing is that we have recourse. So if there's something that is not done correctly and they need to go back, the recourse is that they will handle that because they are insured, licensed, and bonded.
yeah, and they're held liable for
Exactly.
the work that they do. And a lot of the time I don't even pay an invoice until I get a photo of the work from the tenant, or
Exactly.
I drive by myself and see that it's been completed if it's a large item. Like Carissa was saying, that if it's multiple bids that are needed, a lot of the time if it's over $500,
Right.
or if it's like an HVAC or a big plumbing repair, we may want to get 2 bids, or a tree trimming, a
Exactly.
couple bids that the owner can choose from, so
Right.
that they see the different pricing of what companies in our area do charge.
Right.
And sometimes getting a commercial company to give us a bid to see how much higher the pricing is compared to some of our local vendors is astronomical. I know a local plumbing company, I just had them tell me that there was a collapsed line in one of the yards, and it was $5,800 to repair.
Wow.
And our local plumber went out and actually diagnosed that the line is incapable of collapsing. It's an offset.
What?
And it's actually only $3,000 to replace, to
So there
dig
you
up
go.
a couple portions of the line. So by, looking at it and treating every maintenance request as if it was your own property, where would your money be going? And is it going to the correct things, and is there something that I could be doing to save money and save some cost for my owner? Because at the end of the day, we're only looking out for the best interest of the client.
Exactly. And the other point to that too is sometimes our clients will also have one of their vendors go out after we've given them estimates, so they can be able to also get their own estimate and kind of see the pricing that our vendors are giving them is something completely different from an outside vendor is going to give them. And most of the time they end up going with one of our vendors anyways, because it always comes into a pricing that's more affordable to them.
Yeah.
So
but when it comes to habitability, some of those big ticket items though are habitability items. When it comes to, furnaces and heat, if it comes to plumbing, we
don't skimp on that ever.
We unfortunately there is measures that we do have to take in and put into place where we may have to get it done quickly, and the cheapest option may not always be the best option if it's going to mean that we're putting our tenants out, if we're creating habitability issues. If there's no plumbing to a property for 24 hours, it's rendered inhabitable. The same thing with heating.
Water heaters.
Exactly. So we've got to take that into consideration, and sometimes it's just educating the owner and saying, hey, this is considered habitability.
Right.
I do have to get it fixed if I don't hear back from you by this time. Otherwise, it's going to cost you more money with the lawsuit later,
exactly.
You don't know how the tenant's going to react
to
something of that nature. So you want to just cover your bases.
And then about in-house maintenance, I know that our company, we don't do in-house maintenance, but what are some reasons that you guys can think of that we don't do them?
So I've actually dealt with multiple companies that have had in-house maintenance, and it is always a very interesting process, and most of the time it has to do with the cost of repairs. I've seen some astronomical bills for very minor work, and unfortunately I didn't have a say over it as a property manager because all of it was routed through our own in-house maintenance. So having a neutral third party doing the maintenance on a property and holding them accountable, it decreases your liability as a company as well. But it also, we're making sure that the work's being done and the company's really not making anything off of
there's no kickback, right?
There's really not. Our vendors treat us wonderfully, and they bring us donuts and treats and things like that, and we do the same for them because we appreciate them so much. But as far as upcharging and adding, additional fees for coordinating maintenance, that's just not something that I think we believe in as a company.
No, not at all.
And that's just what is included in your management fee is coordinating maintenance.
Exactly.
If we have to deal with a huge job where insurance or like a fire and it's a little bit over what our normal day-to-day thing is, that might be a discussion that we have with the owner, but there's never going to be a hidden fee from Sacramento Delta.
We're very transparent and stuff like that, for sure.
So I think that's the biggest thing is not adding on a percentage from work that somebody else is completing. That's
And I think our clients appreciate that because there's a level of trust that goes in what we do, and when they can say with certainty that a vendor that goes out is not in our best interest, but they're actually in business to take care of them, they feel more apt that when we call them out and say, hey, you got work that needs to be done, okay, get it done, because they know that we're not getting anything on the back end. So I think that builds trust with our clients as well.
Yeah, and even our clients have their favorite the favorite vendors that ours,
Exactly, exactly.
They know our HVAC guy. They know, and a lot of the time, it's if you're using the same vendors, the HVAC guy, he knows the system. He knows what he did the last time.
Exactly.
The plumber knows where the clean out is because it's been the same guy that's been there every time.
And they also like referrals for their own personal homes as well. I get clients all the time that call me and say, hey, can you give me some referrals for plumbers, for cleaners, for fence?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, all the time.
And that's only a benefit to our owners too, because they see how our vendors do great work, and they want the referral. They're like, hey, give me just this week a garage tech guy. Give him our best garage repair guy.
And we get nothing out of that but making sure that our clients are serviced and happy, and that's the biggest reward of it all as far as I'm concerned. So
networking is the biggest thing in this industry, and just continuing to build relationships with vendors and clients.
That's right.
That way we're always kind of on top of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So expert advice for maintenance.
You just heard it. It was
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
That was it.
That was pretty much it. And just, as Ted likes to say, we have a mantra that we use in this house, and it's in the office, and it's the 4 F's. I'm saying being friendly, being flexible, following up, and making sure that you're a fixer, you can take care of the problems.
Yep.
And that's pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, the best advice that I can give as far as maintenance is concerned.